Welcome to Nischal Tube, the Humanities expert. Today I'll be discussing Economics Chapter 1 in Class 11 Humanities, and this chapter is Indian Economy at the Eve of Independence. More specifically, we'll be looking at the topic, why the British de-industrialized India. So the first chapter of Class 11 Economics is Indian Economy at the Eve of Independence. And the storyboard of this chapter goes as follows. First, they discuss the economy of India before colonial rule. So before the East India Company was established, before the Battle of Plassey, before the British entered India, how was the economy looking like? Next, it will discuss the economy during colonial rule, and this is the focal point of the chapter. How did the British influence the economy of India? How did their policies benefit or cause harm towards the Indian economy? And lastly, economy at the eve of independence. So the economy before India attained independence and gained sovereignty. So during colonial rule, the economy was 85% agrarian based. So 85% of the population found livelihood in the primary sector. They cultivated on the fields. They were farmers. Were there any manufacturing opportunities? The answer is yes. India produced handicrafts, textiles, and stone crafts, and these enjoyed a market across the globe on account of the high standards of craftsmanship. We were especially renowned for muslin cloth, spices, detailed stone crafts, and silks. However, the entrance of the British colonies led to a significant decline in the handicrafts industry because the British or the UK adopted economy of scales model, and they implemented modern manufacturing technologies. And so they were able to produce goods for the masses. And obviously, in an economy of scales model, the goods will be cheaper. So India imported goods from the UK, and they also purchased these goods. And the British also introduced new tastes and trends in clothing. So Indians preferred to purchase cheaper goods, which are also aligned with the latest trends in garments. Whereas the handicraft industry that produced garments, the textile industry in India, the local industries, they were relatively more expensive and the prices were marked up because they did not produce for the masses, they were produced by the masses, which is very different. And they used higher quality cloth and they didn't produce for the masses, and that led to supply chain difficulties. And if the supply is low, the demand is also higher, and that means the prices are higher. So on these accounts, the handicrafts industry significantly declined. So the British seek to leverage these opportunities and de-industrialize India as a whole. But what does de-industrialize mean? Industrialize means to produce goods, to enable manufacturing activity, enable secondary sector activity. And de-industrialize means the exact opposite, or the contrary. De-industrialization is the process of removing industrial capacity and muting secondary sector activity. So essentially they want to reduce India to an exporter of raw material, and they wanted to enhance the market of finished goods produced in the UK. India played a substantial role in the supply chain of UK. They produced and exported the raw materials, and the production of finished goods took place in the UK. And India is also a market for the finished goods produced in the United Kingdom. So essentially we produced the raw material, we exported the raw material, and we consumed the goods that were produced in the UK. The British were concerned towards protecting and promoting the economic interests of their home country, and they turned a blind eye towards the condition of the Indian economy. Their goal was that India shouldn't have any scope for self-sufficiency. So we shouldn't produce our own goods. We shouldn't consume our own goods. We should only supply raw material for the British and consume the British goods. So this was the twofold method for deindustrializing India. And the reason behind this is simply the exploitative nature of the colonial rule. They wanted to assert dominance, superiority, and control the economy of India. Their economic policies were centered around protecting their home country, and they had no reason to support or even worry about the condition of the Indian economy, because on account of their technological development, they were able to exploit and mine the entire Indian raw material base. So this is why in resources and development, we learned that any country that's looking to develop should have the raw materials, should have supply of resources, but that should also be accompanied by technological advancements, or else we won't be able to develop and utilize those resources. So India during the 1800s, 19th and 20th century had abundant resources, but we didn't have the technological advancements to accompany these resources. So we weren't able to utilize or develop these resources. We just reserved them as stock. So now let's look at a few important questions. Feel free to use these as a self-assessment. So what is deindustrialization? Why did the British encourage deindustrialization of India during the colonial rule? What was the status of India during the colonial rule? What are the causes of decline of the handicrafts industry in India? So I hope you can use these questions to assess your understanding of this topic, and I'm sure they'll assist you in the exams. So until the next one, this is Nischal Tube signing off. Peace.